One of the biggest events of the year is about to get underway. Some of the most ingenious and creative minds in the country are gathering under one roof to find out who will walk away with the coveted prize and be crowned EY Entrepreneur of 2019. It's the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Awards 2019. Please welcome your hosts, Aoibhinn Garrahy and Dara Maloney.
Good evening. Welcome to the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Awards 2019. From Dara, myself, and my little co-presenter who thankfully isn't ready to make an appearance just yet.
Okay, let's hope so, because I'm really not trained for that at all. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to be with you tonight to celebrate a group of people with a truly competitive spirit. People who know an opportunity when they see one, who then grab that opportunity and turn it into a success story. People who were prepared to be bold and to be brave, the theme for this year's awards.
This is an all-Ireland celebration with 24 nominees competing in 3 categories: emerging, industry and international. And by the end of the night, the winner of one of those categories will be crowned the overall Entrepreneur of the Year 2019.
Well, entrepreneurs are no strangers to tough decisions, so we set up our judging panel and we set them the challenging task of selecting tonight's finalists. And here they are in action.
Once a year, a group of Ireland's most successful entrepreneurs leave aside their own businesses and gather here. The judges' panel is a treasure trove of business acumen. As business leaders, they have each been through this process and won. Now they decide who will join their ranks. Emerging, industry and international, 3 categories, 1 winner each, and the overall award decided from these. Tonight we reveal their decision. Who will be the 2019 EY Entrepreneur of the Year?
Who indeed? Well, in the next hour, all will be revealed. Now, we're delighted to welcome one of the driving forces behind tonight's event, managing partner of EY in Ireland, Frank O'Keefe, and our special guest, Minister for Finance, Paschal Donohoe.
Good evening, gentlemen. Now, our first category is a group of people who've earned their places here tonight with long hours and lost weekends. These are the people who didn't just wait for their ship to come in, they swam out to meet it. It's time to take a look at the first 4 finalists in the emerging category.
A passion for brewing, honed over 25 years at the top of the drinks industry, and a taste for a challenge led Tom Cronin to set up Rye River Brewing Company, a multi-award-winning player in the craft beer market.
Do I take risks? Yes. Do I love the buzz of making decisions and living with the consequences, be it they good or bad? Yes. Rye River Brewing Company has come on a turbulent journey, and we're out the other end now. We seem to be doing very well. We're a healthy business. Volume isn't what defines a craft beer company. It's how you produce your beer, and we go to extreme measures to produce the most consistent, high-quality beer in the world at this stage. We have 5 best-in-class awards over the last 3 years at the World Beer Awards, technically meaning we produce 5 of the best style of beers in the world in Selbridge.
Mad Me Technologies is led by Limerick woman Trina Milan. Her software pops up on 200 million mobile phones from Mumbai to New York. It was while working in Silicon Valley that the former tech CTO got the idea to turn CEO.
I'd worked in these companies, I'd worked at senior levels, but I think it's the ultimate to see if you can build something from a standing start and make it really relevant on a global scale. I had always wanted to do something from a technology perspective. I was all set to do mechanical engineering in University of Limerick in college. And my mother said to me, what about computers? You know, I think these computers are going to be great. There's this computer systems degree. Now, that's a really good degree. We should not consider that. So I can credit my mother with actually getting me into computers.
After years in their own lanes, Mervyn O'Callaghan and Simon Murray now co-pilot Cameramatics, providing vehicle cameras and tracking that improve driver safety, reduce collisions and increase fuel efficiency.
One of the things that I'm quite proud of is that neither of us come from a technical background. You know, we're operating a software business, but we planned out and designed our solution based on what the customer, the end users would need, and worked our way back.
If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you're going to have a competitive streak. You know, we have it when sometimes we go out for runs and we have our meetings while running. If the other person is saying something you don't like, you just run faster so they can't talk.
For more than 20 years, from Silicon Valley to Belfast, Mark Dowd has been investing in and growing startups. The serial entrepreneur's latest venture, Trove, provides insurance options tailored for the ways modern consumers travel, work and live.
Ireland, should be one of the world's leaders in innovation. We're a little bit more curious, I think, than some others. So I think there's an opportunity for us to be one of the centres in the world for innovation. Failure's nothing to be feared. Failure's only feedback. It makes us better. I've had big ups, I've had big downs. One of those times I had to be brave was when I lost everything I had financially. And that happened the same day my first son was born. So on the same day, it was he came out of fetal position and I went into it.
Yes, the fetal position is something that I can definitely relate to at the moment, thank you.
And indeed, with that, it's time to meet the other 4 finalists in the emerging category.
John Mullins is used to leading from the front. Alongside his role as chair of the Port of Cork, he is captain of his own ship, renewable energy company Amarenco, a €400 million powerhouse investment in solar farms.
Why did I ever dream of, solar power in Ireland? Well, at some stage, the capital cost of solar is going to be absolutely right for Ireland. 5 years ago, I started to develop on the basis that I knew what the curve was going to look like. Entrepreneurship is what makes the world go round, by the way. Every company that we look at, the Googles, the Microsofts, the Facebooks, every single one of them actually started in somebody's head, got onto paper, and then basically took a long time to actually come to fruition.
Brothers Timothy and James McElroy's tale begins when they couldn't find a sitter for their family pooch. Their software, which matches pet owners with sitters and other pet services, has them playing in a $200 billion global pet market.
Within the app, you can get in-stay communication. People can share photos, messaging, and then, for example, walking, their GPS tracked, so you can see exactly where your dog's been walked, and you get sent a little map of everything when the walk's complete. So I think adding that layer of technology means that we can add all these really cool features and really kind of enhance that dog owner experience.
Just even recently, a user call up and just say thank you to us, even though it was someone else minding the dog, because it was the first time her and her sister had ever been able to travel together on holiday, because otherwise they minded each other's dogs.
Software engineer Ian Nolan and lawyer Alex Kelly combined their experience to create Bright Flag. The software company helps large legal departments from New York to Sydney to work and invoice more effectively.
You experience a problem and you see a problem and you're of an entrepreneurial mindset. You want to go and you want to solve it. So I'm not entirely sure what it is or where it comes from, but it happens to be in the two of us, and that's what makes us want to do it.
While we have kind of complementary skill sets, we actually share the same values, and that's something we realise very quickly, and we know that we think about things in the same way and can rely on each other in kind of complementing each other's skills and arriving at the right decision. We've just got a huge opportunity in front of us, which really excites us.
Skincare company Pestle and Mortar has been more than washing its own face since launch day in late 2014. Sonia Deasy's flash of inspiration came while working in the family's portrait photography studio.
From looking behind the lens of a camera, I noticed that a lot of the subject's skin was dry and dull and dehydrated. And these women and people didn't have a simple but effective skincare routine figured out. So I set about creating one. There's a history of natural healing in my family. I come from 6 generations of medicine men. All of our products are formulated with ingredients from nature combined with science. We're a global business. We're stocked in over 21 countries: China, Russia, Dubai, the USA. So absolutely we are global, and we're going more global.
And if you're going global, wouldn't an award this evening be the perfect travel accessory?
Yes, it would, for sure. Now, to announce the winner in the emerging category, we're delighted to welcome Bobby Kerr of News Talk and Ciarán Hancock of the Irish Times.
It's a lovely feeling when you look at the list of the 8 nominees and smile, because you know that the future of Irish business is in good hands.
Tonight, only one of them will emerge as a winner of the 2019 EY Emerging Entrepreneur of the Year. And the winner is Trina Milan of MadMe Technologies. Whoa.
No, give it to me. I have a couple of people I really have to thank to my fantastic MadMe team. I certainly wouldn't be here tonight if it wasn't for all of their hard work over the last number of years. So big thanks to them. I also want to thank my family, my husband Mick, and my children Michael, Luke and Della for all of their support again over the last few years. And then lastly, I really have to thank my family in Limerick, in particular my mother, who I mentioned earlier. My mother, Phyllis Milan, who's watching tonight in my hometown of Cappamore, County Limerick. As you heard, she is the reason I'm up here tonight, because she's the one who encouraged me to study computer science all those years ago. So many thanks.
Brilliant, what a start to the show. Congratulations to Trina Milan of MadMe Technologies, the winner of our first award of the evening. After the break, we'll be meeting the 8 finalists for the Industry Award. We'll also be honouring a man who knows all about leadership and also strategy.
Entrepreneurs come in all shapes and sizes. Their achievements are often written into history. But here's the story of one man who was able to write himself into history. A man who, like many in this room, was a true adventurer who was never afraid to take a risk.
Dublin, more than a century ago, a first-time author returns to his native city to sort out a problem with the publication of his book. It is the era of the moving picture. The art is astonishing audiences all over the continent. But Dublin is without a single cinema. It's an opportunity he cannot resist. By year's end, he has gathered the support he needs. On December 20th, 1909, the Volta Cinematograph opens in Mary Street, Dublin. It is Ireland's first movie theatre. Cinema quickly becomes the beating heart of the social scene. The Savoy and the Adelphi among 56 picture houses that capture the Dublin public's imagination. But the Volta was the first. And the man who made it happen, James Joyce. Irishman, author, entrepreneur.
Welcome back. We've already had our first winner of the night, and we also learned that the great James Joyce had his own place among the long list of Irish entrepreneurs.
Now, Joyce himself once wrote, "I am tomorrow what I established today." So I'm very grateful to him for giving me the perfect introduction to the Industry Award category. Here are the first 4 finalists.
Irish institution Supermax is founded and led by Pat McDonough. From quick service restaurants in Galway, then nationwide, the group expanded into hotels and motorway services. After 40 years in business, Pat's appetite for a challenge remains.
There's no such thing as standing still in business. You're either going forwards or backwards. We lost in 2008 about 350,000 young people who immigrated. Mostly they were our customers, so we changed from a nighttime business to a daytime business. And then expanded into the plazas. And then we got into the hotel business. You're only as good as your next meal or your next burger or whatever the case may be. So I don't really kind of sit back and kind of wonder at myself.
It's back to school every day for siblings Una and Peter Cairns. Since their father Raymond laid the foundation stone, the Institute of Education has helped 500,000 students and counting achieve their academic and career goals.
We're very proud of being in such a business, and our father having started it off from nothing. We kind of have looked back and just reflected very recently and seen, yeah, we've done okay, and we've got loads of ideas for the future.
We're celebrating our 50 years, and we've this year 1,400 day students. We have 130 teachers, so started off with Dad just teaching in a small room with rain coming through the tiles, and now we have state-of-the-art facilities, 100,000 square feet of accommodation covering 9 Georgian doors on Leeson Street.
DRT is a food storage and distribution company. Patrick Derry has built the business from a single truck to 70 vehicles and 200 staff. The lessons learned early in life, working alongside his dad at Balmoral Fruit Market, haven't gone to waste.
I left school at 15 and I worked for my father who had taken sick in Balmoral Fruit Market, so I didn't have much of an education, but education as in being streetwise, I learned quite a bit. You had very little time to move your stock. You had the day, you had to sell it today. You learned all those kind of characteristics that you kind of take with you that you didn't realise at the time. When you come from starting off with one truck to a £9 million investment, and you go along the motorway and you see this enormous building on the right hand side, and you see the staff are so proud of it. That's really it, yeah.
With iMed Healthcare, Lawrence O'Kane has his finger on the pulse. A pharmacist by trade, he applies his science background across 5 businesses, from infection control to medicine distribution and retail to on-trend tanning products.
Whenever I was doing my A-levels, I actually was going to become a teacher. I'm the youngest of 10 children. My oldest brother said, over my dead body, you're going to do something that you might make some money at. So I went into pharmacy, and thankfully he was right. I love pharmacy. That's where my heart and soul lie. Even nowadays, my number is sitting on the front of the shop, so if somebody's in trouble, they can ring me. I started off in 1986, 2 people, turnover 300,000, and I've now got a turnover across the 5 companies in around 100 million. 30-40% of my staff are there, 25 years plus. But, you know, and I must be doing something right.
I think everybody on this list is definitely doing something right, judging by the standards we're seeing here this evening. Now, for the next 4 finalists in the industry category.
Mark Whittaker is the 6th generation to lead Johnson & Perrott. Managing a family business of car dealerships and truck rental with a turnover topping €100 million requires a skill set as unique as the heritage company itself.
My father dedicated pretty much all of his life to the business. He worked there for over 40 years, so the family ran around the business. It's the minute book of the company, which was created when the company was incorporated in 1907. I had a company that was well established when I took over the running of it. Change happens in a slightly different way. If you're an owner-founder and you decide at 8 in the morning that you're going to change things, you can do it by 9. Within our structures, it takes a little bit more time and a little bit more explaining and bringing stakeholders on board. But there is real opportunity to be entrepreneurial.
Ashley McCullough is the driving force behind his family's refrigerated transport business. After 5 decades in business, and with an eye to the next 5, McCullough is the first in Ireland to have a 100% carbon neutral cold store.
If we're doing a negotiation, whether it be for a supplier or with a customer, we like to leave that there's a wee bit of fat on both sides. so that both parties are walk away knowing that was a good deal. I'm making £1 or £2 out of that. It just goes back to the values that we were brought up with. We're 50 years in business this year. We're currently the only cold store in the UK and Ireland who is 100% carbon neutral. It was a win for ourselves, a win for our customers, and a win for the environment.
Donncha Hurley has made a career out of business transformations. Motormania is a specialist vehicle conversion company. The ambulances made here are probably the second most recognisable thing to come out of Clara, County Offaly this year.
What we've done is we've taken a business that was distressed and turned it around. Turning things around is something I'm good at. I've had lots of experience at it, and I enjoy it because you can see the end result, having seen how bad it was. That's very good to see. Our business is all tender business, right? And there's no use coming second. You win the tender or you don't, right? It's like a horse race. There's only one winner, and we aim to be the winner as often as we can. We're greedy like that.
From morning till night, Matt Ryan's Press Up Entertainment Group serve up great experiences in more than 40 hotels, bars and restaurants. Even with 1,600 employees on the books and multiple new venues ready to roll out, Matt hasn't forgotten his roots.
I'm the #1 admirer of anybody in their own business. Anyone who's opened a business, started it, got up and running, seen themselves out of the early days, finance problems, staffing problems, strategy, growth. Whether you're a big business or a small business, I think you're great. I was that person once with a small business, and I don't remember it being any easier when it was small than it was when it was big. I've worked all my life, whether I was cleaning gardens or washing cars, selling conkers in school. My pastime and my hobby is farming. The rest of the time, my brain and my space is in a work zone.
Yes, well, the work zone is where it's at for these nominees, and tonight their hard work gets rewarded.
And to present this award, please welcome Jenny Melia of Enterprise Ireland and Jeremy Fitch of Invest Northern Ireland.
All of the 8 nominees have worked their way onto this list through sheer guts, determination and ambition.
It is my pleasure now to announce the 2019 EY Industry Entrepreneur of the Year, who is Pat McDonough, Supermax Holdings.
Well, Minister Frank and his team and EY guests, I'm really delighted and honoured to be accepting this award here this evening, most especially on behalf of the Supermax team, the Soho Hotels team, and indeed the Plaza Group. It's a great honour, and I suppose after 42 years in business, it's a great privilege to accept this award. I'd like to thank both my wife, Una, who started work 42 years ago on a part-time job and got a job for life. And Míle buchas go gachtain a nocht agus gur míle maith.
Yes, congratulations to Pat McDonough of Supermax Holdings, our winner of the Industry Award. Now, for tonight's special award, the Entrepreneur's Tribute to someone they admire. Charismatic and inspiring figures who keep going no matter what.
We'd like to invite Kevin McLaughlin from EY to present this very special award.
Entrepreneurs are driven to take on the unwinnable challenges, the problems others have failed to solve, and to strive for excellence beyond our dreams. In doing so, they create a vision for their teams to embrace, and they set standards for others to follow. Above all, they are leaders. In this respect, our special award winner this year is a great example of entrepreneurship. He's taken his team and our country to unparalleled success, successfully tackled old demons, and achieved a number of firsts.
Success is not an accident, it's a habit. This we learned from a New Zealand school teacher who moved with his family to the other side of the world, chasing a dream. That dream was to be the best he could be. In the end, he made us the best we could be.
For Schmidt, now to straight out sprint, and Joseph Schmidt the try.
Joe was actually, he's an accidental coach to some extent, in that he started off life as a school teacher, coaching the schools team at under 12, under 13 level. Every time he made the move forward or made the move up, I think he was probably quite surprised that he was actually picked to do it, which is interesting as well. And I think that gives maybe a good flavour of the humility of the man.
I've worked together with him for 9 seasons really, 3 with Leinster and then the last sort of 6 with Ireland. He demanded a lot from us, but when you're demanding of people, you got to make sure that you're doing it yourself, and so he was first in the door, last out.
Joe is a transformational leader, he's a purposeful leader. Joe gave players hope, and I think they embraced that with both hands.
There's a time and you felt as an Irish player that you were never going to really win very much, to come in and have won 2 championships in the Grand Slam under him, to have beaten the All Blacks. We're all very lucky to be part of an incredible setup, and look, it's all down to his drive and determination.
Back inside, it's Jared Payne! O'Brien! Sean O'Brien! Ireland have got another championship!
Suddenly there was this massive uplift in support for the Irish team, because they saw what Joe was bringing to the table. Ireland were extremely lucky to have him.
Stockdale past Mike Brown! Oh, and it's just got away from him! Has he got it down in the end? Another Irish try!
Everybody knows about Joe's rugby contributions to this country. I think there aren't enough people who know about the contribution that Joe has made for people who have epilepsy. Anytime he was ever asked to do something, Joe turned up. He's made an immensely positive change in the lives of a lot of people who have epilepsy.
Joe's legacy, it transcends rugby.
His poise, his grace, his attention to detail, and indeed humility has been a great lesson for me.
I'll probably have to write a letter to him. That's when I'll sort of thank him for everything over the last 9 years. I find it hard to put into words, really.
People felt they knew Joe. He'd be more popular than the players to some extent. We could never really be grateful enough for the joy and the fun, I suppose, that we got out of Irish rugby for the 6.5 years that Joe was in charge.
It's my pleasure now to welcome the recipient of this year's special award, Joe Schmidt.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's funny, people spoke about fetal positions earlier on. This time about 5 weeks ago, I was curled up because like anybody who tries to lead, it doesn't always go your way. And I know some of the entrepreneurs in this room have had to ride the roller coaster at times, and inevitably paths cross and people pick each other up and get back on the roller coaster and get back on that upswing. And I know that's what the Irish rugby team will do. We'll have some very, very good days coming up. 4 good wins in Europe last week, nail a few more in this weekend, and it's all looking as though it's going in the right direction again. So I'd just like to say thanks very much to you people and to the people of Ireland and the way they've looked after me and my family. And we're not going anywhere in a hurry, so you're going to have to put up with us for a little bit longer. Thanks very much.
Massive congratulations, Joe. After the break, we have the 8 remaining nominees of the evening, and then the big moment when we announce the overall winner for 2019. But now the story of an Irish businesswoman with an undaunting spirit who was taking on the rest of the world long before it was considered fashionable.
Ireland in the 50s, a country hungry to reimagine its traditional skills for a new era. Then along comes one inspirational woman.
The fabrics of my country are the ones which most clearly interpret the look of casual elegance by day and romantic dreaminess by night.
She took traditional Irish fabrics, lace, tweed and yards of linen and spun them into couture that turned the heads of 50s fashionistas from New York to Sydney.
Molly is wearing a dress made entirely of tea tarring.
In her 30s, she launched her own couture line. She employed locally, kept prices just below her European competitors, and was, for a time, a one-woman fashion industry. Brilliant in business, as well as design, her work was the foundation of the industry in Ireland to this day. Sybil Connolly, independent, inspirational entrepreneur.
Welcome back. This year's theme is Be Brave, Be Bold, a mantra burned into the hearts and minds of the people in this very room.
Now, you have to be brave and bold to take on the role of our next guest, the man entrusted with our nation's finances. Please welcome the Minister for Finance, Paschal Donohoe.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great privilege to be back here again with you this evening in this fantastic Entrepreneur of the Year event. When I heard and saw the first awards that were being introduced, those for emerging entrepreneurs, and when you think about an emerging business, an emerging leader, you think about something that perhaps is in its infancy. And when I saw the businesses that were being showcased this evening, I was reminded of the ambition of these businesses, and far from them being in a stage of infancy, the ambition that they have to be global, to be international companies from the start, and then to where they are this evening and how that has been recognised. When I saw the award tonight for industry, I was reminded of the diversity of entrepreneurship, and again, the scale that Irish entrepreneurs are ambitious to achieve so quickly. I've no doubt at all that the 2 awards that are yet to come, including the overall winner, will remind us again of the fundamental contribution of entrepreneurship to our economy and to our country. But what we have here tonight, and what EY and what I'm looking to acknowledge on behalf of your government, is those who make such a special contribution to us, who by your own risk, by your own effort, by your own time, create businesses which of themselves are of great value, but then flourish and in turn allow the rest of us to flourish in your shadow. So thank you all for the contribution that you make, for the contribution that you make to our communities, to our country, to our economy, and to this great country of ours. Good night, and thank you again.
Minister, thank you very much indeed. Now, these days, if you want to make it in the business world, you've got to take on the globe. Our next finalists didn't see that as a challenge. They saw it as an opportunity, one that they relished.
Time to meet the first 4 nominees for the International Award.
Philip Noon's biotech company, Alto Bio, is an essential partner in the fight to diagnose Zika virus, HIV, and other emerging diseases. In business and in life, Philip's competitive nature has kept him on the right path.
I compete in long distance endurance racing. I've done the Paris to Dakar race twice. One of the first long distance races I did, I failed miserably. Got to about day 10 out of a 13-day race, and everything went wrong. And that was a learning curve. But was that go back, give it up, sell everything, or get out of it, or is it go back, prepare yourself, and come back so prepared, you're going to tick all the boxes. So the second time I came back, I completed the race. Business is no different to that. I mean, it's preparing yourself, your company, your products, and the people around you to get ready to compete on the world stage.
Sligo native Richard Kennedy leads animal nutritionists Devonish. From a turnover of £5 million a year in 1997 to more than 200 million this year, from 23 employees at the start to 700 today, the company is bulking up for the big time.
What I love is the business of agriculture and the business of food production. We are a research, development and innovation business and that is focused on sustainability and delivering one health from soil to society. My father and my uncles had a mart in our local village, and from I was 6 years of age I worked on the mart, and it was a tremendous school for business. My heart is always in Sligo. It's always in Tullastrand. To use a phrase my father would say, I'd break stones rather than leave Sligo.
Building and fit-out contractors, Mac Group, employs more than 200 across the UK and Ireland. Paul McKenna's route to success was to back himself, and he's built a company with a turnover of €200 million this year.
An idea is not a business. An idea is an idea. You then need to make that idea a bit more than that. You have to turn it into a business. One of the things I was very strong at Mac was that Mac would have a very, very focused brand, and that's what we are, and people recognise us without seeing the name. I actually believe that you're either an employee or an employer. You're either happy to work for somebody else and take your wage at the end of the month, or you're quite happy to take the risks that an entrepreneur has to take and put himself out there. You have to put yourself out there.
Armed with a couple of thousand in her pocket, Lulu O'Sullivan began in business selling teddy bears through newspaper ads. But she embraced the internet early on and wrote a 30-year success story with Gifts Direct and the Irish Store.
Ourselves, I think, and Eason's were the first people to go online in Ireland. And if the truth be known, we were probably a little bit ahead of the market. And I always kind of thank Michael O'Leary for putting Ryanair online, because once he went online, people were willing to put their credit card in and they were willing to take a chance. My granny had 3 newsagents, and as a child I used to go in there every single Saturday, and she was such an entrepreneur, because you can imagine there was no women in business at that stage. In hindsight, I think she had a massive influence, and I think I probably got her genes, her entrepreneurial genes.
Yes, they are all very impressive. Here are the final 4 in the international category.
Producing hydraulic machine parts for global distribution, Lily Holmes represents PB Machine Tech. It's a family dynasty in the heart of Carlow, which is run on inspirational ideas from the beginning.
My dad, when he was watching the ladies on the production line in Aaron Foods having to cut cabbages and remove the core all by knife and apply many plasters, he decided to invent something, and he automated that activity. He patented it, and that was the start of his wish to invent things. Today we have 6 manufacturing plants in Carlow, employing 1,000 people. If you walk down any street in any city, more or less across the world, I think you'll find a machine which has hydraulic cylinders on it. And if you look closely enough, there's quite a good chance it's manufactured right here in Carlow.
When Andrew Day decided to take his career to the next level, Keyword Studios supplied services to the games industry from one site in Dublin. Today, he's driving a business in 21 countries and has captured the flag of leaders in the field.
I love the games industry. The games industry is a crazy place on the one hand. It's much less structured than you might believe an industry that's 154 billion to be. And it's incredibly difficult to make a game, and it's even more difficult to make a good game. I like to as much as I can to share with people what we intend to do. Confident enough to, if you like, give away our strategy and then make damn sure that we execute on it. Because the world is populated with people with great plans that just never deliver.
Brian Leslie creates innovative fishing and aquaculture equipment. Sequest Systems is a beacon of brand quality worldwide. Yet nearly 30 years ago, when his dad founded the company in Donegal, the motivation was to keep that family afloat.
Unemployment, as a rule, in the mid-80s was quite high, so he figured that if nothing else, he'd be able to create a company that could give his own family a job. As I say, I'm one of 6 sons. Currently, we're exporting into Chile, Peru, Vietnam this year. The furthest afield, I would say, is we had developed a new pumping system for Antarctica. So yeah, that's about as far away as you can get from here, I would say.
With Scraping Hub, Shane Evans is proving you can build a global company from wherever your heart truly lies. Scraping Hub employs 180 around the world, mining data from billions of web pages every day and managed from the banks of the Lee.
I've always seen myself more as a technologist first. You know, I got really excited by technology, about inventing the future, and being an entrepreneur, starting a company is a way to do that. I like inventing the future of how you work with the remote working. Scraping Hub itself is a remote first company. When I started Scraping Hub back in 2010 with my co-founder, there was plenty of experts from all around the world in what we wanted to do. So we decided to hire these people so that they could work remotely. For me, I wanted to live in Cork. I wanted to be a bit closer to my family and still have a great career. And I've always believed that, you know, you can do this. You can have a wonderful career without compromising where you want to live.
Well, Shane has managed to drag himself away from his beloved Cork to be with us here this evening. And we know the Corkonians never like to leave Dublin empty-handed. But there can only be one winner in the international category.
Indeed. To present the international award, would you please welcome Keith Ryan of Julius Baer and chair of this year's judging panel, Anne Herity.
The work of these nominees is one of the reasons I can get off a plane anywhere in the world and feel so proud to be Irish.
I can now announce that the winner of the 2019 International Entrepreneur of the Year is Richard Kennedy, Devonish.
Thank you very much. I suppose I'm honoured to be here, honoured to accept this, but I'm also humbled. And humbled because an entrepreneur needs people to trust in them. And in Devonish, we have incredible people who trust in us. And I suppose I can't name them all, but there are a few people I would like to name. Our founder, Owen Brennan, who has put his trust in me. Incredible trust that I hope I reflect. My family, my mum who's at home, and my 2 sons, Oisin and Rian and Molly. But I suppose the most reason I'm pleased to be here is because the first time in public I cannot acknowledge my wife, Jacqueline. Her selfless devotion and encouragement, but most importantly, love for me, has made me what I am. So thank you very much.
Yes, congratulations to Richard Kennedy of Devonish, our winner of the International Award. Now, we can't overstate the importance of the work being done by the people here this evening. This incredible pool of talent is making a difference at a crucial time for us in the world economy indeed. We're in a room full of winners and the future is in such good hands.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. One of our 3 category winners is about to be crowned the overall EY Entrepreneur of the Year. And to break the good news, I'd like to invite the managing partner of EY in Ireland, Frank O'Keefe, to join us.
Tonight is such a special evening for all of us as we celebrate and bring together Ireland's greatest entrepreneurs. As leaders, we have so many common experiences. 2019 has been a challenging year for entrepreneurs, the wider business community, government and society. The uncertainty of Brexit continues to challenge all of us, north and south, from a societal, political and economic perspective. That said, Brexit is only one key issue that is on our minds today. But to my mind, our biggest challenge is ensuring inclusive and sustainable growth in a way that is respectful to the environment. Our careers are short. Our careers as business leaders even shorter. But it is our privilege to lead change. Wouldn't it be powerful if all of us here tonight challenged ourselves and our leadership teams to make sustainability and climate change one of our top business priorities? The ripple effect could be huge. Playing our part by taking on this challenge, leaving a defining legacy for future generations. This is our chance to build a better world. That's why we in EY truly admire entrepreneurs. Our 2019 entrepreneurial finalists and past alumni are incredibly resilient, known for facing into headwinds with determination and optimism. It's what they do, day in, day out. It's what sets them apart. Their drive to do better, to grow, to innovate, and most importantly, to give back. So when it comes to such a defining issue as sustainability and climate change, I continue to be optimistic about our future and about the power of entrepreneurship. That's why we in EY are so proud of and committed to our Entrepreneur of the Year programme, built on promise, potential and possibility. So finally, what you've all been waiting for. 3 entrepreneurs remain in the running for our overall award. So let's remind ourselves of who they are.
I don't think you could do something like this if you didn't have a competitive spirit. That's part of the excitement, is that competition and seeing if you can win.
Never, never give up. Because if you have that hunger and you have the desire and you have the will to win, you will always reach your goal at the end of the day.
It's all very well saying you're an entrepreneur. I think I'm representing that entrepreneurial spirit that's across the whole of Devonish.
All 3 are deserving winners, but only one can be the 2019 EY Entrepreneur of the Year. The 2019 EY Entrepreneur of the Year is Richard Kennedy, Devonish.
Well, that brings the 2019 awards to a close. Thank you to the 24 talented finalists and everyone involved for making tonight such a fantastic event.
The party is just getting started. We will see you all again next year, hopefully. Until then, good night.
Good night.